I was given some very extreme painting lessons in my early 20s. And there is skill that's involved in painting. So I'm trying to think about this while making this job as easy as possible and not having to go up and down the ladder. I'm fairly tall, 5'10", probably right after I visit my chiropractor, and I can reach the top. However, I don't want to be extending my arm and my back all that much over and over again. Just trying to be cautious, you know. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the top portion just with a brush fairly quickly with a nice thin coat. I don't know how thin Woodscapes actually is. And then I'm going to follow it up by painting with the roller to lay the product on, and then to follow up with a brush. So it's set up, guys. It really is. Not just of what you're painting, but what you're using. So we have the handy dandy paint pal. Woo! Paint pail. Whatever. And stir stick. I don't trust myself with a drill and the little stir things, although they may work better. I'll get one someday. Don't you worry. But one of my most favorite things is the pour and store. So this way I can open this. You see it's been opened before when I tested it the first time. I can open this and put this on and then close the lid in between when I need to refill. So it's not staying open and getting particles in it or, you know, whatnot. And I'm able to easily pour it over. Excellent. Because I'm not going to work at a very efficient speed like most contractors and whatnot. I do have a pretty deeply matted roller here. I'm wondering if I should get it wet first so it doesn't absorb all the paint, but then the water's going to get in the paint. I think I'm just going to stick with it, and I will try to move this closer to the wall so that all I have to do is reach down and then up. It's not as high as I would like it to be, because it comes up to about my shin. However, it's going to help. Eventually, I'll figure out where the sawhorses are and set those up, but they're probably underneath some stuff at the moment. So, I've decided stage one, we're going to paint the top section. In fact, I'm probably going to work right off this shadow. Obviously, it's going to move. And that way, if I run out of the lighter paint, it'll seem darker, right? Because one's slightly lighter than the other because I had him go back and add black to the other one. Plus, the bottom needs more color coverage, although it is a solid stain. So, am I using a regular paint pan? No, because I imagine I will probably have to lay it on pretty thick, and I want to move pretty quickly. We'll see how this goes. So, you may be wondering what these, I guess we'll call them lag bolts, because that's what they look like to me. Lag bolts are, and these actually hold this extendable ladder onto the house. It's how I get up on top of the roof. If I want to do things like put a rubber boot around the base of the chimney onto the roof. And I will say projects are so much easier with two people. Many hands make for lighter work. This is very true. However, I do like working by myself. There's a process to it. I have my headphones on. And I can just do it kind of, it's like meditation, guys. Although I am going to miss this rustic wood look. I do like that, but it needs to be painted to match everything else. So here we go. Okay. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of satisfying pour and store action. So the spout does tuck into it so that when you store it, you can stack them. And in fact, the stack probably helps to secure the lid. You do want to open this like the back of a juice jar. I'm kind of dating myself there. I'm going to pour slow at first because there's nothing in the container yet. Ooh, see how much neater that is? I probably poured too much. So I'm just gonna leave it open. You probably can't see it. I'm literally holding that up with a sanding sponge. So you want to open this when you tuck this shut so that the air has somewhere to go. And then you can And then just move right on to your next thing there. I did test the Purdy brush out on the cap of the paint can, and I felt that the coverage was excellent. I'm very impressed with Woodscapes. I've not used it before, but I have found that the higher quality Sherwin-Williams paints, which I usually buy when they're 30 to 40% off, like $70 a gallon here, are excellent, excellent, excellent. So I'll kind of show you that. Keep in mind I'm not holding it like I normally would right next to the... So the cool thing about this is it does have this, the clear plastic thing, so you just take it out and replace it. You can wipe it off, wipe it off. You probably should only go so far up. Well, you can tell me how I'm doing. It's been a dog's age since I painted. So I didn't clean the top so much, but, well, it's a barn. So you can kind of wiggle it to get it in. Kind of just go like that. Wiggle it. You don't really have to cut anything in because there's no trim really that I'm worried about painting the wrong color. Let's see if I can get it in the sunlight for you. It lays it on pretty well. Maybe I just need to make sure the brush is saturated. You shouldn't have to press too much if you find yourself pressing to you're spreading the existing paint. You want the brush to hold most of the paint for you. Okay. So even if I put it on a little thick here, I can then smooth it out. I do hold it, if you've not painted before, I will hold it vertically to get inside these seams, because it works best for the brush, it works best for me. These rough spots, maybe the other brush would be better suited for the rough edges, I'm not sure. So just kind of keep going. You can tell, like, that spot right there maybe has a bit of sap on it. I don't know if actually you can actually see, probably just from where, the old saw blade marks here. They're not just marks, it's actually texture. It's built-in texture at this point. So that's it. I'll let you know when it dries, but that's how the brush portion is going to work, and I'm going to do all the tops up in the eave where you can't see anyway. So you gotta love when you don't actually press the record button. I actually found that using the roller, I think it's probably 1/2 inch or 3/4 nap. I'm not doing it super neat, but I'll show you. It works out very good for at least doing the lats. You could start here, especially if the paint is thick. Go up to the top. The paint should, and this is actually not paint, it's actually solid stain. It's Woodscapes by Sherwin-Williams. And it's supposed to help protect the wood and also kind of renew botched looking wood. So that worked out very well. And the brush didn't really do justice. It just couldn't get in every little gap of the rough cut wood. And I was like, you know what? We have a deep nap roller. It rolls. Let's not reinvent the wheel. So this has probably got plenty of paint on it. It spreads very nicely. It's very thick, like one coating. I mean, the wood is, for all intents and purposes, especially here at the bottom, it's bare. It is drying pretty quickly, just because it's warm out, which is why I'm doing this first thing in the morning. I left some paint in here so that this brush didn't dry completely. So we'll just kind of hit that with a little bit of brush so it doesn't dry as a drip, right? I mean, just because it's a barn doesn't mean we gotta have drips. So far, so good, right? I wish I had my wide cam. I probably do have my wide lens in the car. And actually the crappy brush, or the one that I deemed as crappy, seems to work a little better. It's probably just because the wood is so rough cut that it gets in the grooves, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we'll see how it dries. It shouldn't look too much different from this. Not enough for me to care anyway. Gotta get that so we don't get the drips. Remember that knot. We'll paint it. It'll be, you know, you like those houses with character? This is one of those houses. This isn't the house, this is the barn, but same idea. Goes on pretty thick. Dries pretty quick. Yeah.